On the isolated island where Snagov Monastery stands, moss creeps through the cracks of ancient stone bricks, and morning mist lingers endlessly. For centuries, people bowed in silence before the heavy stone sarcophagus beneath the marble, believing it held Vlad III, the man who struck terror into the Ottoman Empire. Yet when archaeologists pried open the stone lid with chisels, amid dull scraping sounds, what lay inside was not the remains of a legendary overlord, but decayed horse bones. Tonight, let us follow the flickering firelight and walk through his true life with this gentle tale meant to calm the mind. Beneath the mist-shrouded pages of history, if a man's death is deliberately concealed, it often means his final moments were woven with the cruelest betrayal. Vlad III, known to later generations as the prototype of vampires, the Impaler, where did his mortal form vanish to? The replacement of human bones with equine remains is far more than an accidental archaeological find. It is a silent footnote to a political conspiracy 500 years ago. We are familiar with his cold, cloaked image on screen, yet we forget that beneath this name beat a soul tormented by fear, rage, and endless loneliness. Close your eyes. By the wavering glow of fire, we shall journey back to the iron-blooded 15th century to witness the real Grand Duke who walked alone toward his end beneath the cold moonlight. In the winter of 1476, the air of Wallachia reeked of frozen soil and gunpowder. After 12 long years of confinement, Vlad III had only just reclaimed his crumbling throne, no longer the spirited youth of old. At 50, deep furrows carved by war lined his eyes, and his thick raven hair was streaked with grey. Still, his grey eyes remained sharp as an eagle's, scanning the Ottoman legions in the dense forests near Bucharest. This ought to have been the final glorious defense of his life, yet he never knew cracks had already formed behind his shield. The nobles who once swore fealty whispered in the shadows, hands gripping their blades not to fight the enemy. In that turbulent era, a ruler at the height of his power was also at his most vulnerable, for authority cuts both ways. Throughout his reign, Vlad III maintained order through extreme terror, impaling corrupt officials and invading enemy soldiers upon wooden stakes. This cruelty earned him the infamous title of the Impaler, leaving him utterly isolated atop the peak of power. To the nobles, the distant and mighty Ottoman Sultan was far less fearsome than the mad duke in their midst, ready to purge his foes at any moment. Venomous conspiracy spread silently along the trenches on that bitter winter night. Vlad III sat atop his beloved black warhorse, his only loyal companion. He would soon learn his greatest foe was no foreign blade, but the basest, most fatal betrayal from those behind him. Official records of his death read like a hasty document, slain in chaotic battle against the Ottomans. Yet if he truly fell on the battlefield as a devout Christian and sovereign, his body would never have been discarded so carelessly. Chroniclers of the time left in eerie detail. While pursuing retreating enemies, Vlad III vanished deep within the forest. When his royal guard arrived, they found only a mutilated corpse stripped of fine armor, its head severed from its body. The logical inconsistency is undeniable. Had the Ottomans killed their arch-rival, they would have celebrated triumphantly, not abandoned his body in the wilderness. The only truth. Wallachian nobles, consumed by hatred, seized the chaos of war to execute their long-planned purge. They needed a fallen hero to inspire the people, but not a living duke to rule over them. And so, in that blood-soaked woodland, the flame of Vlad III's life was snuffed out by those closest to him. Denied a proper burial in death, his head was sent to Constantinople as a token of submission, while his torso became a dangerous burden for the conspirators. They needed a false tomb, a symbol to pacify the masses and silence history. The sarcophagus at Snagov Monastery was sealed in haste, filled with horse bones to fill the empty void. This absurd substitution was not merely mockery of Vlad III, but a deliberate cover-up of an era's dark truths. Erased from his tomb, he lived eternally in mankind's nightmares the destined fate of this tragic monarch. We must pause to understand how this man stumbled step by step into his inevitable doom. Vlad III's entire life was a half-century-long struggle against fate itself. As a child, he was sent as a hostage to the court of the rival Ottoman Empire. There, he slept to the sound of whetted blades each night, forced to witness the most brutal tortures unfold before his eyes. This suffocating environment forged his cold, suspicious, and unyielding nature. He learned that to survive in the beast-ridden Balkans, one must be crueler than one's enemies. When he returned home to seize his crown, he inherited a fractured kingdom, Ra.